At Armani Exchange, they made me the retail advisor, and so what I would do is essentially whatever you see at a lot of retail stores of the same general genre, I guess, is customers would come in, you would talk to them, they'd ask you what they need, you would direct them towards which part of the store they could find whatever they wanted. If they had any questions, you would answer them, and I guess in your off time, you would just kind of fold clothes, fix up displays, and if they needed you afterwards, you would stock stuff in the back. The application process consisted of a written application. The application also had a section for experiences in the past, which was essentially a resume section. After that, they gave you a phone call, which consisted of a few quick questions, and then they gave you a interview, which was a group interview with, I think, at the time it was 4 or 5 other people, when they asked you like a series of 3 or 4 different questions. I have a vague memory of what they asked. They asked kind of like, what do you do when a customer comes in and is asking for your help? I answered with, well, you try to be as accommodating as possible. If they're distracted or they're kind of being belligerent perhaps, you be as patient as possible. You give them as much time as they need. If they have any specific questions, do your best to answer those questions. If you don't have the answer, try to look to superior, maybe another one of your coworkers who might have the answer, and you should essentially just guide them through the store. They made a real, and because it was a group interview, other people were interjecting their ideas, and at one point the interviewer also said, how does the fact that we're Armani Exchange, a little bit more fashion-forward brand, how does that play into what you feel like you would be doing here at Armani Exchange? And I said that, well, being hired by a brand that is purported to be fashion forward, you definitely want to interject your own ideas about what would look good on the customer, the consumer. Like if they're not walking into the Gap, they're not walking into like a Kmart where they just pull stuff off the shelves. They shop here because they believe that these clothes give them a certain look, and because we're being hired there, you obviously have deemed us to be able to attain that same look, and so we want to impart this information onto the consumer if they have any questions. Another question they asked is, how do you think teamwork plays into working at a place like Armani Exchange? And essentially I referred back to the question they asked me prior when I said, if a customer comes in and they ask me a question I'm not entirely sure, I would definitely try to rely on my coworkers. And in that same regard, if a coworker looked like the customer they were working with was beyond their ability to handle, they would try to, refer them to me if my coworker needed help because they were rushed with a bunch of clothes that they need to restock or a display they need to fix. I would definitely try to step in and help. And although this job seems like it may not necessarily be a job where I need to be there for my coworker and there's not a lot of teams, it's definitely pressure builds up, and releasing that pressure at key moments is definitely going to make the job more smooth. I got a call like a week or 2 weeks later, and they said that, all right, we were impressed with your application and at what you spoke about during your interview. Please notify us if you can take our job, and then in 2 weeks we will try to work you into our schedule. Again, I think for Armani Exchange, because of the kind of job it is, it's a retail store, but it's not just a retail store like the Gap or again like Kmart or Cotton On, where the clothes are generally very standard. It's a job that has a product that is supposed to support a very fashion forward idea. So when you come in, try to present yourself in that same regard. Show that you're savvy, show that you're aware of current trends and certain ideas, and definitely don't come in and because the brand that they have represents a certain lifestyle, I believe, and that lifestyle is one of charisma and activity and one of dominance. And so try to portray those ideas, how you present yourself in the actual interview, so they feel like you're a good fit for their brand.